Why hello there, fellow explorers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Everwind. If you would like to skip the game's overview, the setup of this series, or the intro of the game, please use YouTube chapters. Everwind is a role-playing game and sandbox survival game where you embark on an adventure by building a base on a flying island ship. Gather resources, craft, loot, and fight, all while exploring to uncover the mysteries of the world. In this series, I'll focus on showcasing the game mechanics, as well as it acting as a tutorial for new players. I'll be playing on a random seed, so let's get that going. Create a new world. I'll call this stream. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna punch a bunch of whatever. I don't know. That's my seed now. And I'll be incorporating feedback from you guys through polling only, so no backseating and no spoilers. And let's get started with the game's tutorial. Alright, we've got WSD movement, or somehow it's DASW. I've never seen it spelled like that. Jump, run, crouch, look around. Attack is left mouse, block is right mouse. Interact is E, where you can pick stuff up like a torch from the wall. And tab is my inventory. And if you hit V, as in Victor, you can get to the compendium, which gives you all of the tutorials that you've uncovered. Alright, let's go downstairs. Combat uses weapons that consume stamina. Left mouse for a quick attack, hold for a strong attack, and use right mouse for a block. One thing it does not tell you, however, is how to parry, which comes in later, which is block, and then you click to push. Took me a while to figure that one out. There is lots of stuff to loot. I'm going to be skipping a lot of the loot because you don't need everything that you see. Let's go kill this skeleton. Down you go. And I got some bones. Alright. I also just picked up some iron chains. If you don't want an item, you can hold Q and click on it to just drop it on the ground. I don't really need iron chains, so I got rid of it. Here is a stone shovel. Tools break. Tools are essential for efficiently breaking objects and blocks, and I don't think I really need to explain it to you. Axes are for wood things, picks are for stony or metal things, and shovels are for dirt and clay things. So there we go, we got through that blockade, and if I was using the pipe, it would have taken a lot longer. I mean, it's possible, but not smart. Alright, we have water. And now it's going to tell me to do some cooking. So I'm picking up porcini mushrooms from the ground. And this is a cooking station. You put the fuel into the cooking station. And then you can select what you want. In this case, I'm going to make mushroom stew, which is 2 different types of mushrooms and water. Start cooking. And as you can see, this forest wood plank lasts for a minute. And there's my stew. So, just finished the basics of cooking. And we're going to eat it to then regenerate. So as you can see, I am regenerating 60 HP over 30 seconds from eating that mushroom stew. All right. This is a smelting station where you can mine up ores, smelt them into ingots, and then make stuff. So the current active quest is to find a stone pickaxe and gather raw copper. Here we go. Here's my pickaxe. And there's conveniently some copper sitting in the corner here. And I'm going to gather all this copper, not just 8, because copper's kind of important, low-key, so yeah, we're gonna grab it all. And then we need to smelt at least one of the ingots on the furnace. So, fuel in. Select what we want, and hit max. Max is fine. I'll go for 7 ingots. Spacebar is loot all, so I just looted rope, bones, and paper from that shelf. And that was a recipe, and I can right-click to learn it. So I just learned how to make a plank blade. Here's an armor stand that had a wooden chest piece armor that I can wear. And there's lots of stuff to loot. Now, the things to loot, you'll eventually, like, be able to tell. It's mostly, like, dressers, chests, nightstands, and weapon stands. That's what you're mostly looking for. All right, back over here. I've got my copper. And that part of the tutorial is done. I'm just going to wait for the last of the copper to smelt up. Now, there's a lot of other stuff, like little goblets. These are just like random iron chains, and you can loot them all. They all have monetary value, but they're not probably worth your time, to be blunt. So I'm going to use my experience having played before to selectively loot. I'm also going to take the furnace with me so that I don't have to make one later on. And with that in mind, I'm also going to take my cooking station. As you can see, as I'm harvesting the cooking station, it has that little axe symbol. I'm using the wrong tool to grab it. I just don't have an axe right now. If I wanted one, I would need 3 sticks. Actually, let's just make an axe. Here we go. Now I have an axe too. So I've got the furnace, the cooking station, a pick, a shovel, an axe. All made of crummy stone, but that's something. And then let's also take the repair station. I am not, however, going to take these wooden chests because I don't like the 1 wide wooden chests. They're just not as efficient as the 2 wides, so I'm going to leave them alone. All right, we got some more combat. And as I hit him and as he blocks, he also uses stamina. And when he's out of stamina, he'll be stunned. Oh, hello. These guys are like passive. I'm gonna leave them alone. Alright, so here's a skeleton that's holding a green key, also known as a novice key. And this is locked with a novice lock. We use the green keys on the green locks and open. So the steamer metal pipe I had does 2 damage, and this thing does 5 damage, so upgrade. We also got a steering wheel to a ship, and more about that soon, and then healing potions, and then blueprints for a wooden helmet. So I can make myself, and might as well do it now, a wooden helmet. And you can see my total armor value there. Other things I can make is like ragged clothing and stuff, but honestly, everything I make right now is going to be obsolete very soon, so I'm not going to bother really crafting a whole bunch of junk. Alright, we're out. So, if you're wondering what you're supposed to be doing, we need to use inventory crafting to make a repair kit. I kind of skipped over that. My bad. So here we go. Repair kit. And then fix my gear. So let's put down the primitive repair station and fix the gear. There we go. Done. Alright, next up. I kind of did these out of order, and the game's low-key freaking out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this too. This is a nice, big chest. Stealing everything is my MO now. Alright. So now that we're outside, I'm also going to take this boat. To use a boat, place it in the water, and row. Alright, next up, we are going to scan the destroyed cockpit, balloon, and engine of a airship that's right over here. To do that, we hold T to bring out our compass, and then E to scan it. So now we've scanned the balloon, scan the engine, and scan the cockpit. And now we're going to destroy it for its resources and also pick up the scrap that's on the ground. Because we now know how to make ourselves an engine. And a cockpit and all that. So the next step is to craft a cockpit, energy generator, wooden engine, and wooden balloon. Also, chests and crates that are intact do have loot that are worth looting. So if we want to create the pieces that the tutorial wants me to make, what we're going to need first is the crafting station. And I'm just going to put a crafting station right here. So in order to make a cockpit, we need sticks. So let's cut down a tree, bigger one ideally. And then we can turn some of the woods into planks and sticks. Alright, here is the cockpit. Done. Now, an energy generator. An energy generator needs copper nails and rocks. Copper nails is something that we are going to... So if you take a look here... well, actually, I already have the ingots, so copper nails. And some rocks. Alright. You can get rocks from basically any structure made of stone. So you don't need to find, like, actual rocks out there. You can just break down an old wall. It works too. When you break things down, you also learn how to make it too. So in breaking, like, this cracked stone brick block, I will learn how to craft it as well. I gain the blueprint in the process. So if you go over to the... Actually, it might be a different station. But there's a block station that allows you to craft, like, walls and the like, and breaking down pieces of things allows you to learn the blueprint. Alright, while I'm here, let's open up the chest for some copper arrows. These are food bags. That'll work. And then here is the energy generator. Done. Next up is a wooden engine. Wooden engine needs sticks and rope. Rope is something that you can craft from thread or from fiber. So you can just pick up some plants from the ground. Craft within your own menu some rope. Done. And then the other piece of it is the sticks. And we have logs that can be turned into sticks. So logs can be turned into planks and planks into sticks. So there we go. I have 40 sticks now. And I have 50 planks. And there we go. Wooden engine. And last but not least, a balloon. Now there is a processing station here, but I don't have the drive piston or steam wire coils for it, so it's not a piece of the ship that I'm going to be able to make right now. So the balloon requires cloth and rope. Cloth is thread made from fiber, and then rope is also made from fiber. So TLDR, I just need a whole lot of fiber. Now, if you plan on doing alchemy, which is an optional thing in this game, you can also start grabbing things like resin from tree stumps or random flowers. I'm going to invest a little bit in alchemy, but not a whole lot, because I don't want to be constantly incentivized to like be picking flowers everywhere I go. It's a little labor intensive if you play that way. I mean, you're welcome to, but I don't find it would be entertaining for you guys to watch. So, I needed 10 cloth, if I recall. Let's get back over here. Cheers, by the way. So, for the balloon, we need 10 cloth. So, I'm going to make... Here we go. 7, 8, 9, 10 cloth. And then we needed 8 ropes. So I needed some more fiber for the ropes. All right. Perfect. Done. Go to the nearest abandoned flying ship. Alright, let's not forget to take our crafting station with us. And the nearest flying ship is a kilometer away. Oof. So I'm on a random seed. That's rough. And Scorpio, you asked if you can't... So you can grow stuff on your ship, but it's a very small subset of all crops. A very small subset. So I'm going to make up a number. There's like roughly 100 different types of like plants and crops for alchemy in this game. And you can grow maybe like 8 of them on your ship. Maybe a little bit more than 8, but essentially it's a really small subset. So if you wanted to do alchemy, it's not going to be so easy to grow the ingredients on your ship. But with that said, you also cook. So you can grow a lot of the things you want to cook, which would work fine too. All right. Well, this freaking thing is a kilometer away, so let's get moving. They see me rowing. I am not going to get distracted by going to other points of interest right now. I'm just trying to move along this tutorial. It's so tempting to just dock that boat and explore. Yes, no, I get it. I get the allure of exploration. The call of the wild calls to me too. It's just going to be a lot more faster and more efficient if I do it in a flying ship, not a slow as balls rowboat. Because rowboats ain't fast. And in my 2 playtests of this, my, like, ship was, like, 300 meters away. So the fact that it's, like, 3 times farther than I've ever seen it was just, like, bad luck. But whatever. And if you're wondering, yes, this is infinitely faster than swimming. Swimming is so slow. To be fair, you don't really have to do a lot of swimming in this game, so we need to place a cockpit on the shipwreck to claim it. And it's important to note that all functional ships will have a ship core. So this is a multiplayer game. Of course, I'm playing single player. And in being a multiplayer game, you can have multiple people with multiple ships. And a ship's core looks like this thing. This is an unclaimed flying ship with a core in the middle, and you cannot make a core. So a core is one of those things that you just need to find in the wild, which is why we came all the way here. Alright, I am going to be low-key anal retentive, and I do not want these, like, random weird planks. Now, every time I break down a new type of plank, I'm learning how to craft said new type of plank. You also can notice the loot, the planks that I'm liberating from this ship's core are like balling up into one stack, which is really useful to collect, you know, harvested items. I really like that feature. It's a feature that you might not notice initially, but it makes it really easy to, like, gather, because things will pile up to one another. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to start off at 0 rather than have this, like, random prefab. I want to be the one that designs the ship from scratch. Bloody Death, thank you for the resub. And Ciceron as well. Alright, there we go. So now I'm going to take the planks that I have here and craft them into plank blocks. So now I have 30 plank blocks. There we go, that's what I was aiming for. You can't, like, build while you're sinking. Then I'm holding left control to crouch so I don't fall off the edge. And honestly, there is no forward or backward on this ship, and the buildable zone, as you can see in the orange, is like omnidirectional with the core in the middle. What I intend to do is not pay really any attention to the aesthetics of this ship until I have better tools and larger footprint available to build. So my ship version 1.0 is gonna suck, and it's sucking because I'm just not trying to make it nice. So here we go. Here's our cockpit. And the cockpit, without, you know, a balloon and the rest of that stuff, ain't really going anywhere. So let's go ahead and get that down too. Few more wood planks. Alright, so it wants me to put down the energy generator, which burns wood for power. Then it wants me to put down a balloon and wooden engine. And because I didn't take any of the pipes with me, I'm just going to put them all together. So here's the balloon and the engine. And now they're all interconnected pipes, as you can see. So this energy generator, when fed wood, will generate 20 power, and my current ship needs 13 total. total. All right, let's power it up. Yeah, I'll take the boat with me. And then for now, let's go ahead and put 3 more down. There we go. In fact, everything goes in there, and then what don't I want in there? Maybe I'll put the crafting station down. There we go. Nice. So here we go. We are going to change cameras because I like this view. Spacebar is up and down. Let me hide the overlay real quick so you can see the controls. Spacebar is up and down, and shift. So, and then forward and backwards is W and S, A, D. And I am going to start exploring. So I don't really need to go very high. The islands way above me are like way beyond my reach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the nearest zone straight ahead. At the moment, my max ship speed is 10 blocks per second. And I'm only moving at 2.5 because I only have 1 engine. So if I wanted to move faster, I would need additional engines. And then my max size is 11 by 11 by 11, and we can upgrade that. And then my max height is 262 blocks, but because I only have 1 balloon, it's probably less than that. I can go up to figure out what my functional max is. So there's the functional max and the maximum possible. So if I strap, like, let's say 1,000 engines to this, I wouldn't be able to go faster than 10 because the core is limited to 10. And that's important. The height and the speed are limited based upon what you've built. So if you build more engines, you still have a speed limit, in other words. So I'm going to head to this island here. And it's important to note... Here, let me turn off my ship. So hitting F turns off the ship's generators, but you remain buoyant. So your compass can also become a spyglass. So if you hit T and hold R, you can change from compass mode, which allows you to teleport back to your ship at any time. As you can see, I'm back on the ship. Also, if your ship is moving and you jump off of it, it will stop moving. It won't. It has a bit of inertia. It won't come to like a grinding halt, but it will drift to a halt. So the other mode of the compass is a spyglass. And this spyglass lets you find interesting islands. There's a bunch of different types of biomes of islands, and we're just at the basic forest biome. And there's a few symbols here. So one is the distance. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me get back to my ship. You had a heart attack from me jumping? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm sure I will die in this game, but not from something that foolish. So, symbols. Whether it's explored or not, as you can see, this one says explored because I rode past it. So I didn't actually explore this, but I got close enough for it to signal that I explored it. So this is the island I started on, which is why it's explored. And then another symbol that's important is right above my head here, which is whether it has a dungeon on it or not. So when you look at an island, if you want to find a dungeon, dungeon's a pretty good way to get like loot and stuff. And none of the islands around me, I guess, have dungeons. Some of these up here, oh yeah, that one has a dungeon. As you can see, it lit up yellow. So that has a dungeon, but obviously it's like way higher than I'm going to be able to. That one has a dungeon too. But none of the sea level islands around me have dungeons, it seems. Railings. OSHA railings. That's what I need on this damn ship. All right, so let's get exploring without a further ado. And because I can teleport back to my ship whenever I want, I can just jump off to go to land, I don't necessarily need to, you know, park it down there. Also, let's get rid of the boat that was on me. So, let's get exploring. Whee! Alright, the first thing I want to do here is level up and improve the ship. I would like to make the ship larger and faster and sail higher. The TLDR, without spoiling too much, is the game progresses as you go up. So ship speed is nice to get from point A to point B quickly, but going higher in the sky will give you access to newer and harder biomes. So don't neglect balloons and balloon height, because if you don't start sailing upwards, you're gonna hit a glass ceiling for game progression. I'm just picking up random foods, and then let's go into these ruins. So here we go. We got some skelly boys. Alright, if you just want to block, that's fine. Can you just do something else? What are you doing here? God, I need to level up to get a power attack, because this is... Hello, yes. I would like to fight you. Thank you. So nice of you to allow me to actually strike you for once. There we go. I leveled up. So we killed our Mortivar skeleton, and we leveled up. So there are 3 trees in this game. There's a warrior tree, an arcanist tree, and an engineer tree. And initially what I'm going to do is I am going to invest some points into the engineer tree, and I'm going to invest my first point into life detection, which is, I find, super useful. So life detection is an ability your compass gets. So if I hit left mouse button, it will switch. And if I hold right mouse button, it will scan and show me everything. So yellow stuff is like potentially hostile. Green stuff is passive. And this is a great way to find enemies and dungeons and secret areas, because secret areas will, you know, will be, typically have enemies in them, so on and so forth. So my first point is in life detection so that we can, you know, suss out secrets. Let's go ahead and climb this rickety old tower, and here's my treasure at the top. So we got blueprints for pillars, railings, tool stands. We have a bunch of these random wooden blocks, which I'm not even going to bother getting because I don't care. So let's learn this stuff. And then there was one other point of interest here before we'll depart, which is over here. This little gravesite. So generally, the X marks the spot blocks is where you should probably dig. If you find flags or blocks with like an X on them, do yourself a favor and like dig that spot, because it probably has something that you're gonna want. And boy, did it. Wow. I got a Crystal of Force. That's an important upgrade object. It's useful for upgrading our ship, enchanting stuff, upgrading gear. It's one of the most important items. You need a lot of them, of course, but it's pretty fortuitous that I found that. All right, so before I leave this little island, I'm pretty sure I've hit every point of interest already. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down some trees so I can make our ship a little bigger. I'm not going to make it look nice, not yet. I'm going to wait until it is upgraded so that I have a lot more space to work with and better tools to do it more efficiently. But what I want to do is I want to lay out enough like storage space so that I'm not like having to throw things out or stumble over my own crafting benches and the like. I'm just cutting down some of these bigger trees. Turn them into planks, and then expand the ship a bit. I'm gonna make a board cube. No, I am not. All right, let's go over 2 more trees. actually do want to make an aesthetically pleasing ship in the long run, but the reason why I don't want to do it right now is, like, I have stone tools. It would just take too long. I'd rather have, like, copper axes or bronze axes or iron axes before I start, like, really heavily investing in shipbuilding, because acquisition of raw materials is going to be really annoying with stone tools. It will take much longer. As you can see, my screen is starting to flash black. That's because I'm running low on stamina. And then we have the, let's just call it the cranking the hog logo. That is actually the tool that you're holding is breaking. If it was my boots, it would be shoes. If it was my helmet, it'd be a helmet symbol. That symbol is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's get back to our ship. And we're going to turn all the wood into planks and all the planks into plank blocks. So now I have 38 plank blocks to place. And it's just, I'm going to be, my initial ship is just going to be a skateboard or something like that. Oh, also, while I build, let's go over there. Is there fall damage? Yes, but not into water. Deep water. It needs to be like 2 or 3 units deep for you not to take damage. Otherwise, you're going to get plunked. And fall damage is... There are alchemy potions and enchant spells that can negate or lessen fall damage and give you, like, levitation abilities and things like that. But yeah, there's definitely fall damage. Well, that was perfect. I'm also nearly out, so let's put these things down. I'm going to put my campfire here. I'll put my... smelter over there. I'm just pushing everything back a unit. And then, most importantly, repair. Because my stone axe is about broken. There is, crafting access to stuff in the wooden chest. So, like, if I wanted to craft with the copper ingots, I could. With them in storage. I don't need to take them out of storage. But for repair kits, that is different. So we have an alchemy station that we can make with tropical wooden planks. We've got we already have a smithing station, crafting station. There's a block station with planks and rope. There's a carpenter station with planks, if I had more planks, upgrade station, so on and so forth. And I would like to try to get the stations up as soon as possible. And then there's also tools that we can start making. So if this island has copper, I would love to start to get, and my first tool is going to be a copper pick. And then my old pick, I'm gonna just throw out. I don't need it. So, we're at 262 blocks up. That is max height for our current ship. And this is where I'm gonna be looting next. Let's take a look at it. It's an unexplored island. Has no dungeons. That's a tropical island that I might want to head to next for the tropical wood, which is a different type of wood. The other thing that might be wise is for us to start cooking, I don't know, something. I'll cook some eggs for some healing. So I'm going to turn off my my ship to save fuel, because I have a finite amount of fuel. And I will be heading down there in just a minute. Try to jump into the little lake? Yeah, I could try that. I don't think it's deep enough, though. No, maybe it is. I'll aim for the lake. Jolly-ho! No, I'm not gonna make it. Shump. Thank you for tuning in to Everwind, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has linked to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow explorers.